when you talk about life and death situations where decisions have to be made in split seconds, having a system that can aid you with that in terms of artificial intelligence or whatever is really key. So how is Mark 43 leveraging some of these advanced technologies, whether it's, artificial intelligence or, advanced algorithms, to help those officers in those split second moments?
Yeah. So again, I just have to give a shout out to Mark43, and I don't say this because they pay my bills, because there's a lot of other companies that I work for. But what I love about Mark43 is that when AI, right, we got to do AI, we got to do AI. They call together some of our top customers, folks that really want to, delve into this and think about it. And we called them together, brought them together in New York, and we sat around a table and we talk about what are your needs, what's your biggest pain points, what are your biggest challenges, because people, AI can cure everything, and it's curing a lot of different stuff. It makes me sound smarter than I really am sometimes, right? But in law enforcement, that is not a place to play guinea pig, in my opinion. And so hearing the field is super important. So what some things we're doing is using AI to help write reports, helping using AI to help brief folks, investigators on their investigations, using AI to bring together all the pieces of our system. So the CAD, the RMS, the investigations, the use of force. A lot of departments have to, at the minimum, had to log in to 4 to 6 systems a day. So much when you're going call to call to call. Some upwards of 16, right? And so having Mark43, where you have these systems that are seamless and you have that AI that's pulling together information, that quick, you're that much more prepared, not only for a call, but then after a call to follow up. 43 is relentlessly focused on using AI for those purposes.
Well, and, we're talking about multiple systems that have to talk to each other, and interoperability is key. So, Banning, elaborate a little bit on kind of the data-driven policing and the interoperability that Mark 43's products bring to the fight.
It's amazing, Don. 21 years in, I've used a lot of legacy systems out there for CAD and RMS, and I've always been the person on the other side of the table in law enforcement looking at this new technology coming out and being on that team to help decide what was the best systems to bring in. And we always had an issue with different systems out there. Like, we can do this, but we don't communicate well with that company that you have. So that's going to be a separate platform. We can't pull in any data, etc. And I could talk at length on that. But what Mark 43 has on this is what's called an open API. And learning about this technology on how well Mark 43 plays out in the field, it doesn't matter if they're competitors of ours. We have an open source to where we can digest a lot more data than some of these other vendors out there, to where we play well in the field with everybody as long as they're willing to play with us. And there's so many great vendors out there that want this law enforcement agency to be spectacular in what they do. They will do that. It's so amazing. We can bring in and push out data to so many different vendors out there, bringing everything, like I was speaking before, to one place. And that, Mark 43 really is set aside from other companies on that, to where how well we do play with others, and it's bringing all that tech into one area. I personally never seen that before getting introduced to Mark 43.